Hey, patrons. And this topic is courtesy of Sagon. I'm sorry, I'm going to mispronounce your name because I mispronounce everything. Sagon Ray, subscriber, longtime diehard of mine, and a Patreon member. And she asked, I was asking topics to discuss, and she brought up a good one that I hadn't thought about discussing, actually, because it's just almost as irrelevant as the people who are in it, but it's still kind of fun. It is about the whole Charmed fight with Shannon Doherty, Alyssa Milano, involving Rose McGowan and Holly Marie Combs. This whole group of Hollywood bitches who have nothing better to do than fight about things that happened 25 years ago. I don't know. Okay, so let's go over it. Charmed was a show that was produced by Aaron Spelling. Aaron Spelling was the master of TV back in the 80s, 90s. You know, at Dynasty, Dallas. Then he branched out into, Teen Fare, and that's where he went wrong, because he started like 90210, Melrose Place, but 90210 birthed two evil people. Two blights on TV that would stay for a while. Shannon Doherty, who they used to call Cyclops because she has that one really big eye, that one really short one. Everybody thinks it's not a real thing. It is. Look at her. And his daughter, Tori Spelling, who auditioned for the part of Donna. She did not get, nepotism at all. Out of all the girls in Hollywood, they picked a girl who looked like a camel with a cheap blonde Party City wig and said, you know what? We want her to play the sexy, naive Donna. Okay, whatever. So, back in the day, of course, 90210 was a big hit. And Shannon Doherty had only been at that point known for like Little House on the Prairie, and, she was in Heathers, but she wasn't a big name. She became a huge name. They all became huge. Luke Perry and all of them. R.I.P. I think Shannon Doherty killed him. Anyway, Shannon Doherty became known for being a raging bitch on the set. As far as like just picking fights, getting in a slap fight with the girl who played Kelly, bullying people, not showing up to work, which she's admitted since, but she still downplays the other aspects of that whole time of her life, which I'm like, I remember. I saw the videos of you like cursing people out in clubs or outside of clubs. Fuck this and fuck you. You punched a bitch in some club and stuff like that, and everything was a misunderstanding. I love that. When chicks get older in Hollywood, it was a misunderstanding. I was young. I mean, just admit it. Some people will go like the Mackenzie Phillips route, like, yeah, I did heroin. I shot it in my asshole on the set of One Day at a Time right in front of Bonnie Franklin. I did it. I don't care. But other people will just downplay it like she does. I'm like, just own the shit. Paris Hilton, there was an interview with her and Howard Stern. There was a thing about her and Paris Hilton had some kind of words or something like that. And there was a thing that she had punched Paris Hilton, all right? And she gets on there and she denied she punched Paris Hilton. Listen, you punched Paris Hilton. I would punch Paris Hilton, and I don't even know the bitch. But you would do it. You would punch Paris Hilton. You punched her. I think you just punched her in the badge. That's why she didn't have a huge bruise. That's what happened. So, okay, Shannon Doherty was known for being difficult. She got fired from the show 90210 for some twisted, weird reason. When the show Charmed came around, which was about three sisters who discover they're witches, they thought of Shannon Doherty to lead it because there was an actress shortage or something. I don't know why you would pick somebody who was not that. It wasn't that far that she had been fired. What was it? A couple years, 4 or 5 years before that, she'd gotten fired from 90210. What are we doing? I'm sure everything's fine now. Okay? And listen, I feel bad for Shannon Doherty now. She's a trooper. She's a hero. She's strong. Because she's gone through tremendous shit. I would be mentally broken at this point. She's got cancer, and it keeps coming at her. And it seems to get worse for her, but she's got the positive attitude that I've never had, never will have. So this is not about how she is now, really. Nothing to do with that. A little bit, but not much. Now, so Shannon, petty as fuck back then, okay? Just petty, just a bitch. Alyssa Milano, we all know she's a bitch. Alyssa Milano, you can just look at her and be like, she's a real bitch. We know, just like looking at Alyssa Milano, she's probably a really huge slut and a bitch. That girl probably slept her way through every male guy in Hollywood. She's probably an nympho. I would bet anything. Alyssa Milano looks like the type who's an nympho. Like Rose McGowan was too, before she got all womany and like, thinks she's female Jesus or something. Okay, so they all get these on the show together. It's Shannon Doherty, Alyssa Milano, and Holly Marie Combs. And according to everybody, the first season, fine. They're all like sisters. They love each other. Blah blah blah. But then supposedly, Alyssa got jealous. Shannon's got a new podcast where this all came out called Bitchy. I forgot what it's called. But Shannon's got a new podcast out, and first of all, Rose McGowan came later after Shannon got fired. Shannon got fired again from Charmed, all right? Now, for years she lied, and said she quit, or she just didn't feel it was the right fit for her, and all that. And now she comes out with the truth. Well, how are we supposed to believe that this is the truth? That what this version of why you got fired is the truth? I'll tell you why I don't believe it. So she basically says, I believe, I don't know, this is what I think happened. She started acting like a diva again. Fucking Aaron Spelling, Tori called him up and just like, look what she's doing. She's ruining this one show. Why don't you put me on it, Daddy? Please, Daddy, hello? Will I inherit the money, Dad? Don't give it all to Mom. She's a bitch. And he just came out of his own Alzheimer's for 5 seconds, like, I hired that bitch again. Fucking fight. Get rid of her. That's what I think happened on Charm. She's probably doing obnoxious shit, and she got fired. All right? The other girl, the Holly Marie Combs girl, she's just irrelevant in the whole situation as far as I'm concerned. She's just there. She tends to side with Shannon, so maybe there's something there. She got let go. Rose McGowan gets put down there. Rose McGowan, known at that point for Scream and other things, and just, being a hot chick, basically, who can't act. That's fine. So she's there, and eventually, I don't know if she stayed with the show either. The show just died out. It was popular for like 2-3 years, and then it just like went away, which was fine because I'd never heard anybody talk about Charmed in my life anyway. So, but the whole thing always became later on in interviews when Rose McGowan started bashing Alyssa Milano. She's a bitch. She's a horrible person. She didn't stick up for people. She knows people in the industry who are doing horrible things in Hollywood, and she never spoke up. And she knows the pedos in the industry and the rapists. Well, then, sweetheart, like I said in my Rose McGowan video, you were in Hollywood since, 1991, 92? You probably attended the same types of parties that Alyssa Milano did. You probably went to the same types of events and heard the same types of rumors Alyssa Milano did. Then you're complicit as well. I don't seem to ever remember her coming out and saying that she heard this about something, or wearing a black dress at the Academy Awards or MTV Awards because she was pissed off about how women were being treated. No, it was only until, in my opinion, roles dried up for her. She was assaulted by Weinstein. Let's not give him a pass. Fuck him. All right, but she kept going off that. You still worked in that system. Why would you work in a system that was abusing women? That was where all these horrible people are, and the powers that be know, and all this shit. You're still profiting off it until you couldn't ride off your looks anymore. That's just what I think happened. So she starts bashing when that whole thing went with, Weinstein, and Rose McGowan got a little bit of fame again, and she's just sitting there. Not that she's not entitled to everything, she should have everything Weinstein ever owned. Fine. But she starts bashing Alyssa Milano. And around that time, like, Shannon Doherty and Holly Marie Combs start, they do like an interview on some radio show. And they got mad because they'd asked about Alyssa Milano. And they quoted Alyssa Milano saying, like, Charmed was like high school for her. And the retort to Holly Marie Combs, you could tell Shannon's got the professional PR training. Like, Shannon wanted to be like, fuck that bitch. Where does she live now? I'm going to go I'm going to stick my foot up her ass right now. Give me that. But she's like, everybody has their own feelings about things. Holly Marie Combs just couldn't finally keep her shit together. She's like, she never even went to high school. Which, yeah, that negates Alyssa Milano's argument completely. Tell us why. Tell us why you feel the way you do. But it all comes to a head when Shannon, who has this podcast, comes out and says that basically what had happened was Shannon, they were all good first season, then Shannon became super close with Holly Marie Combs. And they started lezzing out together. And it made, they were just really good friends. And that Alyssa and Holly had been good friends. And she automatically became super, like, 12th grade jealous, or 9th grade jealous that they were friends. And started, I don't know, just trying to wedge distance between them. Like, there was a story, like, her and her mother, Melissa, and her mother became really, really, like, on top of Holly Marie Combs, and Holly Marie was in the hospital one time, and then they somehow blocked Shannon Doherty from visiting, which I don't know how you would do that as adults. They weren't her caretakers or anything. I don't think you could have blocked Shannon, so I don't buy that part of Shannon's story, that she was somehow blocked and duped by Alyssa Milano from visiting in a hospital. I don't see how that's possible when you're an adult and you're not like a psych ward or something. They weren't put there by Alyssa, so what the fuck? And then we get it that Alyssa basically did a thing like, made enough consistent, I guess there's a, HR supposedly in Hollywood in certain sets. And It'd be like Alyssa and Shannon working at Target together, and every day Alyssa's writing up reports. Just report, like today she queefed right next to me while I was putting the Bluetooth stuff away in the electronics aisle, and she kind of knelt down and queefed right in my face. So that was hostile. So I'd like to write that up. Okay, we'll write that up. She comes over in a couple of days. Yeah, Shannon came out of the bathroom, and I went in there, and it seriously smelled like a dead horse's carcass in the Arizona desert. After being there for like 3 days in the like 90-degree, 100-degree Arizona desert sun. It stunk that bad. And I think she is purposely eating a bad diet and going in there right before me on purpose so I have to smell her steak while she goes to the bathroom. I swear. Okay, we'll put that down. Basically, that she made enough consistent complaints and that they were forced to let Shannon go. Doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. Unless the complaints where Shannon walked by my dressing room, shouted Nazi propaganda, threw me down and urinated on my face, maybe that'd be a complaint where they would have to let her go. If the show was working and it was good and Shannon wanted to stay, I believe they would have let Alyssa go before they would have let Shannon go. Shannon was a draw because we knew she was fucking crazy. All right, that's what it was about. But to this day, they're talking about this, and then Rose McGowan's ass got to jump on everything, how much she doesn't like Alyssa Milano. Who gives a fuck what you like? You look like Donald Duck now. Just shut the fuck down. I'm so tired of her. She looks like Susan Powder. Remember that bitch from the 90s? That overexcited fake lesbian with the bleached haircut? Like, stop the insanity. Let's lose weight together. I was really born naturally skinny, gained 20 pounds for a month and then lost the weight again. But I'm going to give you a secret diet nobody knows about and make really exciting infomercials and you'll follow my bullshit. Yay! That's what that bitch looks like now. But so it's like everybody's kind of coming on Alyssa. I'm not saying Alyssa's perfect, I don't think she is at all. But I really don't believe Alyssa got her fired. It makes no fucking sense to me. Maybe she contributed, maybe she made up some shit, but I just don't see how I don't think Alyssa Milano had that much power, to be honest with you. So it's just an annoying high school thing. And if Shannon is acting like she's beyond it and okay with it, why are you? I mean, it's a podcast and you're bringing it up, but who gives a fuck? Honestly, even if she did, who gives a fuck? Why don't you? To me, the truth is always somewhere in between. So why don't you bring Alyssa? Alyssa should go on her podcast. That would be the biggest podcast ever right now. Fuck that Shannon Sharp shit and all that. Have those two girls screaming at each other for 5 minutes. Bring Rose McGowan's crazy ass too. And Alyssa Milano's she's in cahoots with President Trump to destroy all women's vaginas. Ah! And she just starts, chewing on a raw bone. That's where Rose McGowan's at. But yeah, so I would be curious to see that happen, but sadly, I don't think it will. They keep answering in these little PR blurbs, like, I just find it sad that it's come to. I said, talk how real people would talk. Yeah, that bitch is a liar. Okay, bitch, if I'm a liar, come on the show. Okay, whore, I'm coming on the show. Do that. All right. Now I got a headache because it frustrates me. All right, Son of Gray. I'm sorry if spell it out, sound it out in the comments if that makes any sense. Hope that did it for you. And you guys got any topics that you want me to talk, and I can let more loose here on my Patreon channel than I can on my regular channel, because YouTube fucking, when it's public, if you say poo poo potty, you're banned. So yeah, that's what I think about that. Fuck them all.